Hey guys, how's it going today? I'm going to show you guys a little bit about port matching the case to the Minarelli spacer and what I do. So what we're going to get into a little bit here is case porting. I don't do a whole heck of a lot of case porting, just what needs to be done. I've already mapped out the markings for the spacer on both of the cases, both sides of the case. And so what we're going to do is mark and remove these. So the way I like to do it, I mean, everybody's got their own way. But the way I see it with these cases, the crank rotates this way. The capturing point of all the spray of the fuel is on the wide side. So what I'm going to try to do with the porting is not port this side, but port this side here. So I get a free flow through here and up through here. Okay. So I'm just going to mark here where my lines are, so I can get some straight lines going. I'll do the same with this one. And here. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll just make a straight edge from there over. Like that. And obviously this one is going to be here. And I'm going to want to remove some of this area here. Okay. So I'll do the same thing to the other side. And basically right here. And I'm going to remove some of this area here and obviously here. Okay, so that's my basic porting that I do for the case. So what I'm going to use today here is really sharp burr bit, and it's going to help me remove this area and some of this area like this. So as you can see here, I've cut it out around the shape of the spacer and all of this area here. That's all I do on this side, and then now I'm going to take this smaller bit and work some of this area out here. So that's pretty much all I do for my Minarellis for case porting, is having a directional flow up through here and opening it up. And now all I'm going to do is go in and polish it off just slightly, and it's good to go. Basically I just took some a bolt with a reverse nut onto a left-handed nut, and some washers, and cut some 220 padding down. So, and that's going to be my buffer. Okay, that's pretty much all I do. And if you look here, you can see a nice flow up, coming around, flowing up. So now that we got this one done, on to the next one. We've ported out this area of the case. Now we have to do some porting for the third transfer. I've marked it out from the spacer, and we're gonna put a slight angle cut here, similar to this one here. Alright, I've cut out each one individually after marking them, and then I matched the case up and got them in as even as possible, checking them on the spacer plate to make sure that everything lines up, just like that. And then what I'll do is I'll go in, sand this down, and give it a quick polish. Okay, I'm just roughly going over, after I went over it with 120 sandpaper. I'm polishing it off with 240, and we got a really nice cut in here, angled. Also want to show you the way we poured it here, down in here. You can see how when the crank is going this way up and bringing in fuel, how we have guide directional fuel flow, and it'll be nice and smooth transition up into this area. After I get it at that point, also want you to make a note that when you put these cases together and you're port matching, these cases can also be cocked side to side when you put them together. So just make sure when you put them together that they're parallel to each other, and that'll help you line up and port it out more evenly. And also when you're installing it, you should be watching that you don't have your case slightly cocked for shafts and bearings and stuff that'll cause drag. So now that the case is like this, it's ported, I take a file and just slightly remove some of the material, making sure it's flat. In a few different directions, and this isn't a lot that you're taking off, it's just to make it just a little bit better. That's why it's important to make sure that your case isn't cocked in any way. Okay, so this is the case finished. It's opened up so you can see it better. Some of the port work here. It's also, this corner's been curved out so that when we get the crank rotating this way, we're going to get a nice flow up. And I do that on both sides. Nice flow up. That's all I do for case porting. So I'm going to talk about this cylinder that we got. I have an Athena racing cylinder. This is the kit here. They're really nice. They also come with all different size shims. So when you're setting your squish, you can adjust it very easily to get any kind of squish that you want. And this comes all with the kit. Different thicknesses of gaskets, all types of shims to put underneath there and to get it to exactly where you want. Different thicknesses. The kit also comes with some really nice stickers. Of course, I put a couple of these onto the bike. It comes with some really nice carbon reeds pedals, which I'm going to try to install on my G2 and see how that works. It also comes with a racing piston. Now, being a reed engine, you would suspect this would have a window. This one's skirted instead of the window. It's a single ring piston. This thing, when it compresses down, is going to have a huge amount of case pressure without that window. I'm really interested in seeing how this runs. This is an Italian racing engine. Italians are known for their racing. I'm really excited to see how this is going to perform. So we're not going to do any modifications at all to that. Let's go over and take a look at the Athena cylinder. Nice wide opening. It has a 34 millimeter width on the exhaust. I put this on a degree wheel. It has 180 degrees on the exhaust. I believe it's a 120 transfer, a 123 transfer between the 180 and 123 for the blowdown. It's really nice and open in this area. It's opened up here really nice. This engine should perform really well. It is an Athena Italian racing cylinder. I just want to talk about this right now, since a lot of people that I've talked to or watched my videos or I've showed my stuff to always comment, because of one particular person has a channel and he's talks about knifing your cylinder. I've started to remove this down, so when I put my spacer on here like I've showed in other videos, I don't get any damming. And I'm going to put that edge back onto this, and so I'm going to have lots of fluid flow. I'm going to remove this area so that we got really good transfer up and through this area. But this is what I wanted to show you, and if you can look closely here, this is as sharp as can be, and this is stock Italian Athena racing engine, knife edged from the factory. And these guys are known for racing. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a slight edge on here, just like all my other cylinders, and take this one down as well and do the same as I always do on all my cylinders. But I just wanted to point that out. Some cylinders, some racing companies like Athena that build racing parts do build their cylinders with a knife edge. While I'm doing this, this is a Nikasil cylinder. Nikasil is extremely hard metal. This doesn't cut the same as the iron cast ones. The iron casts are very easy to port. These are very difficult, very hard metal. All right, so I've cut down both sides now, cut the center out here so there's lots of room. The reason why I cut it right out is because this isn't as high as the other cylinders. I got a Swedish Pippin file here, nice round over. and I'm just finishing up the edges with a file. Like I said, this is really hard material, and doing a round over on any burrs that might get in the way of the piston, and it's looking really nice. I finished my spacer plate and finished all the porting to the cylinder. This is all done by hand. It's all hand work done on mine. Laser cut, then hand poured it. This one happens to be a little bit wider because of the Athena is really wide here, and it fits perfectly. Let's come over to the light here. I don't know if you can see inside there. It fits very nice. Also in through here as well. Anyways, that's my cylinder. It's all ready to go. So I want to talk about some tips on painting. So I'm going to paint this cylinder, and there's a few things I like to do when I'm painting to make things easy. I'm going to take this cylinder and this case and paint them. So I don't like to get paint all over this area. The rest of it pretty much on the case. You know, I don't like to get it on the bolts and everything. So I'll just quickly show you a couple of tips, and in these areas where the bearings are and the bearing. So I'll show you a couple tips that I use to make it really easy to mask these off. Same with the cylinder. I don't like to get paint on this area or this area, this area or this area. This has also been ground smooth. Okay, let's get started. First, I'm going to take a couple of screws and put it into the case to keep it together. Like so. Making sure it's fairly parallel to each other. I'll tighten that down. I won't do the case first. I'll do the cylinder first, just to show you this, and then we'll move on to the case. I'll use painter's tape, and I'll just put it along here like this. And I'll get an outline like that. Okay. And then what I do is I take an X-Acto knife, and instead of cutting all around this, all you need to do is scribe your tape along the edges. And what this does is it cuts the tape. I'll just keep working it like that. Along all the edges. And then I just remove it. There. So I'll go ahead and do that to the rest of the cylinder. Here, I'll do it here. I'll mask up this area because I don't want any paint there, and this area here. Let's just go ahead and do this one really quick. just like that. Push it down on there. Just making sure that you're getting all around the curves. And then we should be able to just remove that. They're simple, easy, fast. So I'll go ahead and finish off this, and I'll do the case in the area where I need to. And then what we're going to use, I'll use this is a VHT high temperature paint. It's good up to 900 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a caliper paint, and I really like to use this on cylinders, the case. Yeah, it seems to hold up really well, and it's also chemical resistant. It's a great product. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this up and get this painted. It's all painted up now, and the paint's dry. That paint dries really fast. It cures up within 7 days. So let's take a look to see what it looks like. This is the funnest part. Wow, look at that. It looks just awesome. Right, now we'll do the cover case. There, how does that look? The paint job just looks awesome. Hope you guys liked what you seen. Please hit the like, subscribe, and definitely share it. Okay, I better get busy and put this engine together. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.